crowded wide receiver room we've got to try to get right here. Let's talk about the Green Bay Packers crowded wide receiver room here real quick, Dalton. It's a popular topic. Everybody wants to talk about the Packers crowded wide receiver room. Do you have a lean between the top 4 guys? And we know there's other guys on the depth chart, Bo Melton, Malik Heath. They have 2 quality tight ends there, two young guys, Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, but just these top 4 receivers. Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks. Do you have a strong take? And what are you looking for? What are you looking to find out here between this receiver? Like, which of these receivers we should like? I will say, Dalton, just before I throw it to you, I think we are going to get like one hype piece every couple weeks on each of these guys. There was some video recently that Jordan Love did. One of my Discord members sent this to me, where he put Romeo Doubs as his X receiver on his like dream offense, had him running a go route because Romeo Doubs is that sacrificial X receiver. There's that. And then like 2 days later, Dontavian Wicks is getting the buzz from Jordan Love saying like, oh yeah, he's going to have a monster year. I bet he's got another quote coming on Jaden Reed. I bet he's got one on Christian Watson. Like, what Jordan Love says is important, but that's going to happen for all these guys. So besides that being something we're going to hear out of camp, what are you looking to hear to actually get some real clues on how this receiver room plays out?
I see you're putting off our Lad McConkey war until later. I like that.
Yes, so correct.
The Green Bay.
I'm the host of the show. I can editorialize the outline in real time.
No, you're saving it for later. I appreciate that. I don't have a strong take on Green Bay. I'm probably going to avoid them all here. I just think they're going to probably just spread it out here. As you pointed out, Christian Watson, he may have led all the receivers when on the field, but that's when the offense was its least functional. So I think it's going to be spike weeks for different players. You pointed out the Doubs thing that Love said. I was going to say the same. Doubs also was the clear number 1 throughout the playoffs. I don't think Watson was totally healthy then, but Jordan Love, people don't like to hear it, but he may be due for some touchdown regression this season. The Packers scored more than 76% of their touchdowns through the air last year, and then added Josh Jacobs. Green Bay scored a historical 95% of their goal-to-go possessions as touchdowns, the highest rate since the 90s. All these guys are good. I mean, Wicks is really interesting. I mean, his some under-the-hood stats are really like he could be a future star possibly. So I think with Reed, Doubs, Watson, tight ends, and Wicks, and now a new back who's going to be more involved at the goal line, it's kind of just a situation to avoid in fantasy.
So I don't necessarily think it's a situation to avoid, but I think it's like these are all maybe yellow light players, to use the Scott Pianowski term. They're guys like I'm not proactively saying like I'm going in taking a Green Bay receiver, because this could be a situation where they have a bunch of guys who are just good number 2, number 3 receivers, but no true number 1. And it could be kind of a rotation every single week. There could be weeks where Christian Watson plays 80% of the snaps. There could be weeks where he plays like 30% of the snaps. I think that's totally possible. Generally, when I view a receiver room like that, and we don't often get a receiver room where there are 4 guys we're interested in, but that means I'm typically not taking the first guy, which is Jaden Reed, which is unfortunate because I love Jaden Reed. I think he's a really good player, but I just haven't found myself clicking his name a lot. But I do end up then in this situation maybe wanting to take the last guy there if I don't think there's that big of a gap, which is Dontavian Wicks. And I think there's a chance that Wicks could be the best receiver on this roster. I think there's a chance. I don't think it's a lock, but I think there's a chance. And where he goes in early best ball ADP, I'm just going to read you off the names of receivers that go 140th overall to 160th overall. Gabe Davis, Dontavian Wicks, Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Legette, Quentin Johnston, Darnell Mooney, Adam Thielen. I feel like Wicks stands out like a sore thumb there as a guy that could really take that, like could be a real breakout candidate that's not a rookie. So I think he just is very interesting there to me. I will take the chance on him, but the other guys I haven't really drafted as much.
I like that take. And meanwhile, Jaden Reed is going as a top 35 receiver. I mean, he's, that's not, you're absolutely giving something else there, taking a player there. So, and Wicks could end up being the better player this year. So I don't mind that strategy. Take the last one who falls, but I'm not reaching for Reed here. That's too high of a price for the amount of targets there.
I think it's okay. I think he's okay there just because I'm looking at the names after him. Hollywood Brown, Calvin Ridley, Rashee Rice, DeAndre Hopkins, Deontay Johnson. I like Deontay Johnson, but like Christian Watson, Jordan Addison. I don't know that I like love any of those guys over Jaden Reed. So I think it's aggressive, but I think it's kind of an okay price that I don't end up really taking a lot, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm taking a Deontay Johnson or DeAndre Hopkins over him easily. Just
Okay,
the
that's
targets, their projection there. But I like Reed the player for sure. But it's just going to be tough for him with so many mouths to feed.
Yeah, I never want to come out too hard against a guy like Jaden Reed, who I really like as a player. But I'm with you that he doesn't have like a ADP that I'm definitely trying to smash there at that point. Okay. Let's talk who emerges in New England. I feel like I've talked about this receiver room a lot, Dalton, lately, especially on the podcast with Debro. So I'm curious. I'm curious what your perspective is on this receiver room, what you're looking for.
No, I don't have a take. I liked your guys' talk back and forth, Polk and Baker. I kind of wanted some clarity from you here. Douglas, can he become a guy who has some really interesting stats, but he's small. I'm a believer in Drake May, and Brissett's very solid. So I think that someone could easily emerge here. Hunter Henry even could be a sleeper at tight end. But no, I don't have a take here between Pop Douglas, Polk, Baker. I'm just really going to be paying attention in August this is definitely one to pay attention to.